Hello everyone. Heading up Carpenter Canyon today. I thought this would be a good test run for my Jeep as it's close to home and it would be an easy walk if something malfunctions. The WJ has been in my garage for the last several weeks waiting on a new radiator to arrive. As it started leaking from a bad weld on my trip to Death Valley. I would like to give a big thank you though to H&H Auto Store and Oz Cooling on Amazon, because after contacting them and sending a couple of pictures, they sent me a replacement for free even though it was just past the replacement time period. Great customer service. You can find them on Amazon. So after installing it, I called my friend to go for a check ride. It went great until we were almost home. Then out of nowhere, my check engine light popped on. The engine started running very rough, but we made it home. The next day, I hooked up the bleep boot machine and got a half dozen codes. O2 sensor, heater circuit low, bank 1, sensor 1. Heated oxygen setter, bank 1, high voltage. O2 sensor, bank 2, circuit 1, malfunction. Manufacturer control, P1281, P0171, system lean. Intake air leak, system too rich. Evap canister purge malfunction, evap canister major leak, evap canister minor leak. What the hell is going on? Did I fly too close to the sun and get zapped by a solar flare-up, or what happened here? I don't have a clue. This is crazy. And a pro tip, never change all these sensors at once unless you have knowledge of their function, because one affects the other and it will drive you crazy trying to figure it out. After a week of fiddling around, I thought I had it all figured out, so we went out for a check run and some new issues popped up. Okay, it wants more attention, so we turned back to home. That's when we came across this fellow in the Blazer on its side. You've probably seen the video by now. Rollover on Wheeler Pass. But back to the drawing board. Now I still get codes taking me back to the O2 sensor. And I'm overheating as well now, but why? Too lean? I don't know. So change some more stuff, mechanical fan, new fan clutch, new thermostat. This was a great decision on my part, but those codes were still popping up. Tried several different brands of O2 sensors, but no luck. So the University of YouTube to the rescue. In one of those videos I found, a guy said you need to check your fuses. A problem with one sensor can throw the other sensors off. Who knew? And wouldn't you know it, one of the O2 sensor heat circuit was blown, a 15 amp troublemaker. Well, here we are at the top of Carpenter Canyon. You can see my temperature was nice and low, and got a view of my fan and fan clutch in operation. It's doing great. And Carpenter Canyon isn't looking too bad. So it's going to be a fun day. We'll see what else has changed up here. Yeah, this little washout getting flattened out with all the traffic's come up here. Not too bad. Dropping down to where the main trail used to be, now it looks like an old gigantic riverbed. But it never was. This is all from the big flood event we had last year. This was a little valley with a little trail off to the side, but no more. Kind of weird wandering around here, backing through all these clumps of debris. I mean, there's whole little islands that are of growing vegetation that just got shoved around here. It's crazy. Mother Nature just does what she wants when she wants, and we're here to enjoy it. This little narrow little gap isn't too bad. Doesn't look like it, but that little rock right there is about as tall as my tire. Anyhow, we had to slow down to get over it so we don't tear nothing up. I don't know what you guys use for finding your trails, but I use Onyx. They have this feature called Route Builder that I use for planning my trails and trips. And today I'm using their tracking feature just to see where I went, and but I'm using it to plan a route up to Chloride Cliffs for next weekend if all goes well today. Club run. It ought to be fun. And Onyx is a great device to have out here, especially if you're not familiar with the area. If you go back to my earlier video, Carpenter Canyon destroyed by flood, when we came through this gap the last time, it was vertical walls on both sides, and it was almost touching the mirrors, but enough traffic's been up through here to wallow it out. Makes it easy to pass through now. But there's still you can't get all the way to the end of the trail, that's for sure. Yep, most of these trails back here you can access with any four-wheel drive vehicle. Some decent ground clearance though is recommended. A four-wheel drive Audi or something that you can't crawl under, you'd probably get hung up. But if you got enough room to scoot under the car, you got enough room to get over the rocks or around them. Come out and enjoy it. Lots of adventure to be had out here. It's a little bit like driving through a maze up here. Some of these trails you come to, they're washed out or non-existent, so you got to bob and weave, you got to backtrack, go around this clump of brush or that pile of debris, but eventually you find a trail that goes all the way through. Look at this little washout. We got a fallen tree blocking it, but if you took a jog to the left, you could get around the tree and then back up to the right. You might be able to ride that bank around, but I'm sure that thing would cave off, roll you on your side, and wedge you down in there, just like planting a tree. But I tell you, we got some risk takers up here. Probably in a month or two, I'll come back up here and I'll guarantee you there'll be tracks going through there. There's loads and loads of down firewood up here. I don't know what the situation is with BLM or how you can come up here and get it, but might need a permit or something, but there is a ton of it up here. Getting back in here in the shadows of the canyon where they don't get a lot of sun during the day, and still some snow sitting on the ground. We'll see how much more it turns into up the trail here. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but I also changed my injectors during this process of working on my vehicle. And my buddy Martin at Martin Built, my Amazon injectors didn't work out so well, so he built me a set of injectors, and they're working great. This thing has more power than it ever had, but you really don't need a lot of power. You just need to be ginger on the throttle and crawl your way through some of this. But thank you, Martin. Injectors are running great. The snow-capped mountains off in the distance, they sure look great. And the one you see every now and then off to the left, that's the backside of Mount Charleston. They got a lot of snow up there. Pretty incredible looking. Nice view, very scenic. I'm enjoying it. We're up here by ourselves today on a solo run. Like I said, it's a close walk to home, but I think we might be pushing a little bit back here in the snow, but it doesn't look too bad. We'll just keep going. We have experience on our side, hopefully. Some of the free music here on YouTube, it's not that great. The name of this song is called Cobblestones. I thought I'd throw it in there because it looked appropriate, because that's what we're driving over, a lot of cobblestones. Snow's getting a little deeper, but onward we go. Well, we've made it up close to the end of the tracks. I think this will be our turnaround point. We're going to walk up here and take a look and see what the rest of the little camping area looks like. This is Carpenter Canyon. There's a Forest Service sign. It's pretty up here, covered in snow. Man, this place looks great. Looks like a winter postcard. Heading back down should be fun. Yeah, this is incredible how wide this valley is now. Where we're driving now, we're probably 15 feet above the original ground level. The trail itself used to be off to the left side of the screen, and it was just a narrow little trail. And there was a babbling little brook that used to run down this side over here. It's underneath all this stuff now. And when the snow's gone, you can see how rough it looks. But I don't know how much water it took to do all this, but it happened all at once. It was insane. Yeah, you can see how big some of these little washouts got over here on the side. This is over close to where the old road used to be, and it got cut away, but it's all doable. You do need a vehicle with a little bit of ground clearance. Okay, here we go. We're getting ready to exit the canyon here. This is a little steeper than it looks, but what's coming up next is even steeper. We're coming up to a little rock ledge here, and as you'll see, I do not make it on the first attempt. I got off my track, off my line a little bit, and ran square into that rock trying to miss another one. And unfortunately, I didn't restart my video after I backed down and got out, took a look, and saw that if I moved just 10 inches to the left, up and over we went. It just crawled it. We didn't have to get crazy. We just crawled it and went on out. I apologize for not getting the footage. I wanted to go back and shoot it again, but like I said, we were by ourselves and we didn't want to take any unnecessary chances, so we called it right here. Now we're heading down the old pipeline trail that's just to the north of Carpenter Canyon Road itself. And it's a pretty good trail, but down near the bottom it has a washout that nobody's tried to go through yet. And we don't either. We end up turning off of it and dropping down on what's called the fence line trail. Yeah, off in the distance you can see the Pahrump Lake bed out there. And right here on the left is a sign that says road washed out. But it was pointed the other way, so I don't know what's up with that. Anyhow, that dry lake is not so dry right now. You may not see standing water, but if you go out there with your vehicle, you'll find it. I advise not to go out there, let it dry up. This is the little fence line trail. It's a fun little trail. A lot of YouTube users use it. It goes over to Trout Canyon. It's just got a lot of whoops. And as we discovered today, it's got a few little washes where all that rain from up the hill came down and stirred things up a little bit. And there's a couple steep little canyons, so you got to be careful across here. You'll come up over one of these knobs and you'll come into a little valley that's, some of them have a pretty good drop off. You got to pick and choose where you drop in. This is one of those wash areas where the floodwater from up on the hill came down and kind of left some extra rocks here in the trail. Yeah, it's weird up here. This little thing, we're driving through a little dip that was washed out. And then right here, it looks like it spit out a bunch of extra rocks and covered the trail. Go figure. The desert is fun no matter when you come out here. You never know what you're going to see. Yeah, we're just coming up to one of those little dips I was talking to you about. To my left, you can't see it, but it's a pretty good drop there. Anyhow, we had to move a little to the right to get over it. But we noticed a couple guys in some UTVs were coming up behind us, so we figured we'd pull up here and see what they were up to. Yeah, we're going to stop up here and look back to see if they missed that drop off and veer to the right like we did, so it's a little smoother descent. If not, we'll go back and give them a hand. But let's see how they do. There they are. Watch as they disappear as they go down in the hole. Well, that guy's already coming out of the hole, but his buddy behind him. Watch that second UTV back there. It'll disappear and then it'll reappear as it goes down in the dip. And this guy's got a couple dogs with him that look like they're having a great time. Well, thanks for watching, folks. Everything's working great on the WJ, and we're going to try to put together a run up to the Chloride Cliffs Road next weekend. We'll see how that turns out. It's supposed to get rain, but not sure.